Welcome to another edition of First Person, sponsored by the Bruns Realty Group in Troy on Tip-Colesville Road, celebrating 65 years of experience in residential and commercial real estate. See Bruns Realty for your next move. They'll help you make it a good one. Bruns Realty, again, on Tip-Colesville Road in Troy, sponsors of First Person on PressProsMagazine.com. Baseball is our topic this week, and the guy to my right here is very well known in area high school baseball, amateur baseball. Trent is the head baseball coach for about 50 years at VANDALIA BUTLER High School. A great record, great legacy, a lot of great players, great wins, great teams, titles, and thanks first of all for taking the time to talk baseball with me today, because as we do this, man, it's nasty outside.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's always a good time to talk baseball.
No, there is no bad time. I talk right up that all the time. I make some people upset about that.
Yeah, but I'm right with you.
But it is what it is. I mentioned the fact of your record and consistency here, and it is exemplary because you've been here a long time, had a lot of great players, great teams, great kids. You talk about the record, and when you talk about your record, you have to talk about consistency. I don't know how many titles you've won in a row, but it's been a bunch of them in the GWalk North, and that's easier said than done. How have you done that?
Well, first of all, we have good kids. We have good kids in this district that are very coachable. We have a great coaching staff. One guy can't do this. Coach Bardnero, Mike Bardnero's been with in this program for, I think it's going on 18, 19 years. Steve Clark's been coaching here longer than I have. He was here with Coach Costello, and he's stayed on. And Scott Thompson had been with us my first probably, 17, 18 years. He took a few years off to watch his kids play softball, and he's back this year. And we've had a lot of good guys that have been former players come back and coach. Tyler Cook has coached with us. Matt Roberts has coached with us, and I can go on and on. Matt Heiss, Eric Narath was with us for quite a time. We've had Scott Jones with us, who's now the coach at Edison State. Doug Herzog was in our program. Todd Tincher was with us quite a while. So we've had really good coaches.
What you're telling me is, with all those names, that baseball matters in the Butler School District.
I think it does.
The baseball matters. That's the $64,000 question, because we're going everywhere this spring, and a lot of people, as I mentioned to you off camera, are telling me they don't have enough numbers for JV baseball suddenly. And how can you make baseball matter in a community outside Dayton like Vandalia Butler, where it's obviously very important?
Yeah, well, I think you have to do things for kids to want to play. We take a spring trip to Myrtle Beach. Kids enjoy that. That was unheard of in the 80s when I played, and probably back when you played. You never heard a high school team doing that.
Jim Hardman took us to Springfield.
Okay, well, there you go. It was a little south, maybe. So things like that. I think you have to give your kids a good product. We try to maintain our field. We try to, give them quality coaching. I think we out there, the games are fun. We have an announcer playing music. I think a lot of, people, as you leave the high school, go to the games. I think it's kind of a cool event that kids see. I work on getting kids playing. I'm here in the high school. I teach here. I see who athletes are and who they aren't, and there's certain kids I have my eye on that I make sure that we try to get in our program, because for our school and the type of kids we have, we've got good baseball kids. I don't know how many kids are going to go on in some of the other sports. It's just, this sport is kind of made for, I guess, what the kind of kid we have in this district.
You talk about making it important, as I just posed to you, but the fact that you said, hey, for my 17, 18, 19 kids, 19 years in this program, that says an awful lot, because when you have the consistency of that guy being there, and the kids know what the expectations are, they know what you expect of them, that has an awful lot to do with it. Jim Hartman was there a long time, Frosty was there a long time,
Yeah.
Tim Engelke was there a long time. Good baseball men have good programs because they're there a long time.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, you know, I enjoy it. I don't know. I enjoy being around the kids, and I hope they enjoy being around us. I know some programs maybe are very military-like, and I'm not into that. I mean, there's discipline on the field. You know, Lou Brunswick was, you know, he let you have your personality. But there were times, you know, if you miss a hit and run, you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there were certain things you got to think that, I don't know. I think there's certain things that are important for baseball, and I think there's some things that are stressed that I don't feel are important.
By the way, thanks for bringing up Lou's name. I forgot that. I would have heard about that. Trent is our guest this week on First Person, the head baseball coach. 8-0 as you're starting this season off to another great start. And I have to ask you the question about the State of the Union. You mentioned about kids wanting to play, and the kids know it's important and want to be a part of this. What is the State of the Union of amateur and particularly high school baseball in your view?
I think it's good. I mean, I see, you know, I see the travel circuit. My son has done travel ball for the last, I don't know, 9-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen travel ball, and I know it gets a bad rap to some people. I think travel ball is a great thing. It's a very high competitive level baseball. You see a lot of kids doing it. You know, I think it's a great thing. I think the State of the Union's good. I mean, that's my opinion of baseball. I mean, there's a lot of great baseball players in this area. We went down to Myrtle Beach this week. There were 30 teams down there. A lot of really good teams. A lot of good baseball players. Now, football is higher than it's ever been. Which is great. You know, we've got a ton of football players play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love football. I still love football.
Yeah.
I played in high school and love following football. And you know, I don't understand why. You know, there shouldn't be a reason why you can't do both. And there's a lot of kids that do. And basketball the same way. We got a lot of basketball players. So
I guess for this factor of the State of the Union of baseball, I go back to the number of rule changes since 1973 when they instituted the designated hitter. I never particularly liked that. I'm not a fan of the re-entry in some of what I call socialized baseball today. But, you know, a lot of rule changes. And the number one when I go to a ballpark right now, because I'm an old pitcher, people come up to me and say, what do you think about the new rule limiting the number of innings that a pitcher can throw? If you throw 30 pitches today, or if you throw 125 pitches in a start, you have to wait a certain number of days. You know, I'm going to let you address that. You've got a big program here. You've got plenty of arms.
Right.
But there are also schools out there,
Right.
particularly the Division IV, say we don't have plenty of arms, and it's really going to put a hurt on us.
Right. Well, I mean, my personal opinion on it is, and you may disagree with this, if you throw 30 pitches in one day, you know, unless it's a tournament, you know, dire straits situation, I don't think you should be on the mound the next day. So I don't think it's a bad rule. And I think
it's a good rule when you have plenty of arms. But I mean, when you get a program in Division IV that has 15 players on the roster, period, and doesn't have that JV team, and they may only have 3 or 4 arms available that can throw strikes, then it's a different situation.
Well, during the regular season, I don't think it is, because if you got 3 or 4 arms, then they should be being split up, right? I mean, not back-to-back day, you know, consecutive days. Tournament time, an issue.
And the fact is, I had a couple coaches this week said it is going to be a travesty.
Tournament time, I can understand
your hands are
it being an issue. You know, we played that card with Corey Vance, Taylor Cherry. We brought him back on short rest in tournament. We don't do it in the regular season, but tournament time we've done it in the past. So I can see tournament time. It's probably going to play a bigger effect than the regular season. Now we have a lot of arms, so I mean, really, I'll be honest with you, it's really not an issue with us during so far, and I don't really foresee it during the regular season being a big issue. So smaller schools, you know, I could probably see it obviously being a little bit more stressful, but I don't know. It's not a whole lot different than the last rule was. The big thing is if you throw the 30, you know, you throw the 50, you got to sit a day or you got to sit 2 days. Whereas before, it was 10 innings in 3 days.
The fact of the matter is that people who were responsible in terms of coaches and management of their kids always kept that in mind.
Right.
That's what you're talking about. If
Exactly.
you throw 30 today on a day like this, I don't want you to come back tomorrow. Anyway.
On any day.
Mention quickly as we run out of time here about your team this year. A lot of people are saying, hey, this is a regional team. You and I both know that's much easier said than done. They've said that about you for years, and sometimes you don't get there.
Yeah.
You got to go through those teams in Cincinnati. Tell us a little bit about your club.
Well, we have 10 seniors, which is
bodes well.
Very important. When you're our age, a couple of years is probably not a big deal, but the difference between a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old is a big deal, and a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. Those are growing years. They're big years.
And I'm a lot better player now than I was when I was 18. So are you.
Exactly. So we've got, like I said, we've got 10 seniors, and we've got returners. If you just start on the mound, we've got Tyler Burley, who's this is going to be his 3rd year starting for us. Is a good arm. Braden Norman is a sophomore, but he doesn't act like a sophomore. He started as a freshman on the mound. We've got some, Zach Crawford has been a 4-year pitcher for us. Gavin Cooler has been a 4-year pitcher for us. Nathan Stogdill has pitched on the mound for us, I think, all 4 years. We've got guys stepping up. Joe Jackson's a guy that's really stepped up from the JV team last year. Ryan Townsend's a kid, the senior that stepped up. Dylan Welsh is another kid
and a kid playing shortstop.
Been a 4. Our infield is good. Damon is going to be a 4-year starter at shortstop. That's nice.
That'd be Damon Dews.
Damon Dews. He's a good leader on the field, that's a good asset to have. We've got Matt Grossman over at first base, is another 4-year starter. You add it up, and we've got some experience behind the plate. We have Dolan Foltz, who was an infielder last year, and we converted to catcher. He's made a nice transition. He's done very well back there. We lost Noah Ballard last year. It was a 2-year starter for us. We've got a nice nucleus, and we've got some new guys. Jack Mitchell, Preston Tofstad have stepped up. Juniors doing a nice job for us so far. Jake DeMoss. We've got a junior senior solid 2 classes.
Always good to have a proud dad moment occasionally.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the time. Stay healthy, and if you haven't seen the Aviator Butlers, they are a very, very good high school baseball team in Division I. I dare say, from my experience around the area so far, you will have a good run this year. Hope so.
We'll see. Some years you expect it, and you don't. And some years you don't, you do, and who knows? It's a crapshoot. So we'll see.
Trent Dews, the head baseball coach at Butler. That wraps up this week's edition of First Person, again sponsored by Bruns Realty in Tip City and Troy on Tip Colesville Road. Give them a call for your next move, residential or commercial. They'll make your next move a good one. For Coach Dews and the sponsors and everybody, we thank you for your support of what we do in high school baseball, football, basketball, whatever, on PressProsMagazine.com. Until next time, we'll see you again with another edition of First Person.